Welcome back to the Line Her Coaching Podcast. And I'm here, Darcey Elizabeth, with my co-host, Christine Barr. And today we have an exciting topic, and it's actually from one of our Line Her community listeners. And it's from Stacy G from my new home state, Rhode Island. So I'm so pumped to have you on, Stacy. And she brings up a question all about how to bring peace to your home. Love that. Love that question. And I think it's something that's totally aligned when it comes to both energy and relationships, right? Because it's all about the energy you have in your house and also the relationship with the people in it. So Christine, do you want to kick us off?
Oh, yeah. So for me, it was a really profound question. I know that we don't give too much background on like where the questions themselves. So I would love to hear more of the story of like where that piece isn't. Is it, you're working too much or you're not working enough? Or is it the house being dirty? Or, where is that piece not happening for you? Is it your sleep? Where are you not having peace? And I think, I know being that we've worked together for a while now, you're so good at having people do audits. Like Darcey is the audit girl. She's like, sit down, write down what is working, what is not working, what do you need to look at? Once we see it on paper, then we can figure out what we need to fix. And that would be regurgitated Darcey's advice of the voice I have in my head of Darcey telling her that, look at what isn't working and where is that stemming from. I will give a personal example. I was one of those people, I'm a night owl. Like I am that girl that's up at 2-3 o'clock in the morning, eating Cheetos, watching freaking Big Bang Theory reruns, right? And my husband has to wake up a lot earlier than I do. So he's normally in bed. Well, we never had a TV in our bedroom. And so what was happening is I was passing out on the couch at 4 o'clock in the morning and we weren't sleeping in the bed together. And he mentioned, hey, like I feel disconnected from you. Things are weird. And it started like aggravation. I wouldn't say there wasn't peace. It was just like we were both aggravated, but we didn't realize how much our relationship needed for both of us to be in the bed. We got a TV in the bed. I have headphones that I can put on so I don't wake him up, but that connection is still there. That peace kind of comes back. So it was like, I didn't necessarily have to change what I was doing. He never needed to change what he was doing. We just needed to find a solution where I could stay up all night, he could sleep. But yeah, he can put his hand on me or I can put my feet to keep warm, of course, on him. And just those little connections like that brought more to our relationship because we were sharing the bed together. So that would be an example, personal example that I would have on like how to find that peace. Is Darcey's voice in my head of looking at what doesn't happen into what is a solution? What is a common ground for you to get that balance?
Yeah. Yeah. So first up, I love how you bring awareness to what is it that is not bringing peace, right? Because it could be so many things. It could be a situation like that with you and your husband, or it could be even, I know something for me, I struggle if I don't have peace, if it's not organized,
Oh,
right?
girl.
Oh my. And like, I am not good at this either. Let's all remember that. That's probably why it's more irritating because, since I do wear so many hats and I'm so busy, one thing
Mhm.
that gets left on the back burner is like organizing, cleaning. Not that it's like dirty, but it's just definitely not up to par. Right.
Yeah.
So peace can look different to everybody because some people can be in a house that is messy and is okay with it, which is great for, that's great for them because I wish sometimes I would be like, hey, this can wait so I can spend time with Miles, right? Or like really trying to dive into like, what does peace in your house mean to you? Because I think to everybody, it is different.
Yeah.
And, really diving into what does peace look like? And as you said, the audit, of course, me, it's like, okay, so what is actually bothering you? Right.
Yeah.
And that's just kind of like sitting with yourself and really reflecting like, what what's driving me nuts right now in this home? Is it, not having a schedule with my kids? Is it the dirtiness? Is it not having your own office, right? Your own space. For instance, for us, I am so excited that I now have a home. I have my own office space, my own place to do podcasting, and to really be able to, you know, in here, I am the co-owner of Align Her. Out there, I am a mom, right? So creating that balance in my
That
home is,
boundary, that boundary.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, exactly, right? Creating those boundaries within your home and really diving into what does peace look like to you, because everybody is different.
Yeah. And, as I was listening to you say that, and we're speaking of like the different hats that we have to put on, there's so many people out there that say, I'm a free spirit, I'm a gypsy, I'm this, hippie person. But at the end of the day, no one doesn't do well. Does that make sense? No one does. There we go. I did a double negative. Okay. No one does well when the boundaries are not set. I
Yes.
don't care how free you are. I don't care how gypsy you are. I don't care if you're like, I want to be my own person and I want to do my own thing. There are still boundaries that need to be put in place. We see this with our children, right?
Mhm.
Kids that do not have boundaries, and I'm not talking about discipline, I'm not talking about punishments, but if they do not have boundaries, kids do not thrive. They have to have that. And it goes on within society. Societies need boundaries. So when you put boundaries on in your home, it sets a clear understanding for communication that no longer has to be spoken once they're learned, right? So when
Yeah.
you say, hey, Miles, when I'm in this room, things need to be quiet. This is how we need to be, and this is how it's going to go. You might have to, I mean, obviously, he's, he's a young child, so you don't have to like be on him, but it has to be reminded. And I feel it's the same way as us as adults. Hey, my boundary is that I make my bed every day. That's me personally. If I do not make my bed, I know it's going to be a weird day. Every time I come in, my bedroom doesn't feel welcoming. I don't like it. Some people it's their bathroom time. I got to shower 2 or 3 times a day, or I got to wash my hair at least one time a week, or whatever it might be for you. But putting those boundaries in place kind of finds your calm. And the fun part is you get to play with it. You get to
Yeah.
play like, oh, I do not like working out in the morning. I'm an afternoon girl or I'm a nighttime girl. But if I don't do it, I know that I'm all over the place.
Yeah. No, I love all that. And I think you really nailed it when you said about you get to define the boundaries for you, right? So ask yourself, what are some boundaries that I want to implement in my world? At the end of the day, it's not even about the peace in your home. It's about the peace going on with inside you and how you are reacting to the outside factors, right? So with that, one thing is not necessarily like looking at your someone who influenced you and see what do they do for their morning routine, what do they do for their staples, but really getting and fine tune like, okay, what boundaries do I need to set here, especially as mamas, right? Like everybody's busy, but I know
Yeah.
for me, like as a mom, like you totally are right. Like my office now, especially now that I have like a nanny come in to watch Miles and he's in the same household as me, I have to literally be like, this room, when the door's shut, that means you can't come in, buddy. I love you so
Mhm.
much. We're gonna have our time later, but mama's working. And then when the door is open, then you can come in. That means it's fine to come in. So like really setting that boundary has not only helped me to get my work done and to have my work hat on, but also him, right? Because he
Yeah.
knows, like, okay, so, mom's there. If I need something, go to the nanny and ask her, like, what do I need? And we, and you also got to meet in the middle. Okay. So as a single mom, he's very attached. So what have we done? We have done where he's able to send me a little voice message, right? Like something like that to create not only peace for me and my work and align her, but also peace for him. So, Christine, for finding boundaries and creating that peace within your home, what's your thoughts on communication with your other people in your house? So, your partner, your kids, to make sure that they are also gaining peace? I hit you with a good
Oh,
one.
yes. This is like one of my favorite questions. So I'm actually working with a couple right now about this, and it is nonverbal communication. And how do you get that across your household without feeling like you always having to talk or tell or do or what or say? And I am a big advocate. I'm going to have to put this in our show notes of this. There's a calendar. I will just, you know them. I just got them this calendar, sending it to them. And you sit down every month and you write whatever is happening that month on there. And now my kids, now let me tell you why this is so great. My kids are able to read now, right? How many times have you been asked what's for dinner?
Yes.
Right?
And that's
I
so annoying, right? After a while.
so effing annoying. It gets on my effing nerves. And then they're like, I guess I don't want that. And I'm like, I don't know what's for dinner. I don't know. Like that. And when we talk about peace, I don't have peace when I don't know what's for dinner either. And now I'm
Mhm.
throwing some shit together, hoping they put some salt and pepper and some garlic on it, hit it with, some Tonys and be like, yo, here's your dinner. Like I also don't feel like I'm showing up as my best mom self
Mhm.
for them. Now, if you follow me on social, I love to cook. So that really hurts me when I'm not able to like give them like something that I actually poured my heart and soul into that food, because that's my love language, right? Yeah, hungry baby, come on over. I'll make you a plate. That's like my thing. Like, come on in. And so once I got this calendar, and we have cheer practice on there, orchestra. My son's what are those things called? Recitals? No,
Yeah,
not
right?
right.
Concerts?
Performance concerts, there we go. His
Concerts?
orchestra, he actually had one yesterday. But to have those things on there, if we're going on vacation, if there's a birthday, we put our paydays on there. We put when certain bills are due that aren't necessarily a monthly, something that's coming up, like oh, the kids need school shoes, there we go. Oh, I'm going to get that on this check at this time, at this time. And now no one asked me for dinner. What's for dinner? No one asked me whose birthday is this month. What are we doing this weekend? How far along it is. My daughter's able to count, so she can go up there and count how many days it's to her birthday, right? Or to the end of school. And that is a non-verbal communication you can have in your home. And when I tell you that it takes me maybe an hour a month to do, it's amazing. And
Yeah.
the biggest kickback I normally get, though, let me put that out there, because I know what people are like, that's so much time. How do you know what you need to do? Okay, so my phone, I have my phone. Me and my husband and my son all have shared calendars.
Mhm.
So as we're going through, they put it on the shared calendar, right? So they put, hey, like this is happening. Brayden has his crawfish boil one weekend. It's our anniversary, Mother's Day, whatever. My son's like, I want to have a play day. Throw it on there. I don't care what the distance is. If it's 6 months, 6 weeks, 6 days, whatever. But when I go to put it on our master calendar in the house, I take it off of our shared calendar and I plug it onto our master calendar in the house. So they already contributed to that. So I don't have to worry about, hey, what do you got going on the third weekend of April? They're like, I have no idea. I don't even have to have them here or collaborate with them, because we already have the communication. So when I say peace and other people in your home, you can clean. I mean, you can put what days you're going to do laundry. You can do,
Yeah.
if you have roommates, let's say if it's not even a family, if you have roommates and it's like, it's your day to clean the bathroom, it's this person's day to clean the kitchen, and we can all follow it. But the only time it works is if there's respect,
Mhm.
right? You
Yeah.
have to respect other people's time in order to do it. But if I said there was one thing that I will always have, it will be that calendar, especially now that both of my kids can read.
Yeah. Yeah. And I'm going to piggyback off that because this can also work with co-parenting.
Oh,
So
yeah.
me and my dad are not together. So we co-parent and we try really hard to put that communication there. But as always, I'm constantly booking stuff. he's constantly booking stuff, especially as both being entrepreneurs. So we have a shared calendar. That way he knows, okay, this is what's going on. For instance, we have Miles' birthday coming up. So we got Miles' birthday on the calendar. When's the birthday party? What does I need him to do, since we're in different states? What do I need him to do, on this certain day, and vice versa. And it also keeps a little track when I'm trying to plan something, right? When I'm trying to, hey, I want to do this with Miles, or I'm headed out of town for business. What does James' calendar look like? Yeah. And that's something that has really helped our co-parenting skills, because instead of being like texting, being like, as you said, being like, hey, can I do this? It's more like, hey, I see you're open this weekend. Is it okay if you take Miles, or whatever, however it looks? So that is totally right. I forgot to even like think about how that does bring peace in your home. I need to start doing the dinner thing.
Okay. I know this is going to be kind of off the subject. So if you know what I've been going through, you know what I've been going through. So I had to start finding ways to save money. So I put in Pinterest, a monthly budget, dinner budgets, and it gives you different calendars of like, say December, January, February, and it gives you like the different things, but it also tells you the cost of your groceries for that month. And so I started figuring out, there's a couple other people that I used to follow like on YouTube. I kind of got kind of deep in it, y'all. It was weird. Like for like a good 6 months, I was weird.
That could be a whole podcast episode right there, because I'm fascinated.
Like I got really weird, Darcey. Like Brandon's like, yo, like I need you to calm down. And I'm like, but it's like, it's working. Like I made this and it turned into this and it turned into this. I think I got our grocery bill for the month, and I mean breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks, to $200 for 5 people a month.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, like that's how intense. But it was during quarantine. We were coming out of quarantine. The kids were out of school, so it was a little bit easier to do. But now you need space too. But anyway, so I found these calendars and I started picking out, and I would say, hey guys, what sounds good? Because like some of the stuff on there, we're not going to eat. Like we're not, like my kids aren't going to eat it. I don't want it. Like, no. But we could find things, and it gave me ideas. So if it was a hit, I'd be like, hey, would you guys like to have this again? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So then I would circle it, highlight it, whatever, put it in a folder. And then as I started going, I would plug in those new meal items with our current normal, like your spaghetti, your tacos, your stir fry, right? But now I'm adding like buttered pasta with salmon, which I would have never made because I never thought my kids would eat it. Well, I found it on this list and it worked out. I know I'm rambling about it, but it is it's a fun project. Also, you're not really eating the same thing over and over again. You're eating the same components, but not the same meal. And I think that's where people get burnt out really fast.
Yeah.
It's like Fridays are pizza night, Tuesdays are tacos, we're gonna have burgers on Monday. Like, and then you're eating the same, 7 dishes, 6 dishes 4 times a month. People get burned out on that. So it's a fun thing, but I will say it gave me so much peace because it was already done and it was one last thing I had to think about.
Yeah. And that's honestly a conversation I feel most people struggle with in their household. They're like, well, what do you want for dinner? And the typical answer, I don't care. And it's like, well, I don't care either. Right. So then you're almost like irritated because you both don't care. And it's like, we got to eat. So what do you want?
You're just eating like chicken nuggets that your kids left over on their plate because you just don't feel like even dealing with it. Yeah. I've been there.
Right. You're going to have those nights. That's totally fine.
Yeah. Well, I have a big strict rule. I do not cook on Sundays. I don't. If you want me to cook on Sundays, it's out of love and an event, because I will no. And they know that. So it's leftover day. Whatever's in the refrigerator, they both can reach the microwave, have at it. Brandon cooks breakfast. It's normally my laundry day. So it's like either you get food or you get clean underwear. Which one do you want?
Right. You pick and choose. Yeah. And that kind of like goes like, creating your boundaries, but also your space, right? Like you brought
Mhm.
up a great point about you guys all have to have space to when it comes
Right.
to like planning out cooking and kind of getting attentional with your space. So the energy for every episode, we do an energy moment. And for this episode, for Stacy, is one thing I would say is this going to get a little woo woo on y'all, but
Let's do it. Let's do it. Give him to Darcey. Let him go.
yeah. So get yourself some sage, right? Sage your house, but when you're saging your house, so what sage does is clearing the energy, right? You are going to reclaim the energy you want to bring into your home. So, for instance, the space you have within your home, create the intention. So, in my office, I'm going to sage. The first thing I did when I moved in my house is I was like staging it and I knew what the rooms were going to be set up as. So, like my office, I was like, this is where your powerful energy is going to come out. You're going to create a massive impact, right? Like I set the intention. And then in the living room, it was more like, this is where you can be calm and really be present with me and my son. His room, make sure that it was very like a calm, sleeping, relaxed environment. And what this does when you set those intentions, even though you're saying it, you got sage in your hand, even though it seems kind of weird, you're telling your brain that is what you want to bring into that space.
Yes.
So if you're in the kitchen and you're saying, hey, I want to make sure that I'm providing healthy meals for my family here and that I'm every night making time to sit at the table, okay, well, you just created that boundary and intention and you didn't realize it,
Yeah.
right? So kind of getting real firm on what boundaries you want to create, what intentions are you bringing into your space? And then as Christine said, make sure that communication is there with all the members in the household.
Yeah. Okay. So I know we're coming to time, but I have so many questions about this exercise, and
Yeah.
I want you to kind of help me. Yeah, walk me through this. Do
Lay it
you?
on me.
I guess it's just more curiosity. So do you open up your windows when you sage?
No.
Really?
No, I never open up my windows when I stage, but also keep in mind that I am from New England. So it
Oh,
depends on the time of
okay.
year. You can't always open your windows.
True. And what kind of sage are you using?
I just get the bundles. I just get the regular bundles. I most time get them off Amazon. If anybody wants the link, I'll send it to you. Send me a
Yeah.
message. I'm not very picky about it. One thing I always do is I dip it into like my favorite candle. I'm not the like, some people just like light it up. I dip it into my favorite candle to really not only get it to smoke, but also it carries that scent a little bit with you.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to do that. And I also kind of have an idea before, I light it up and start bringing it. I also start every day with sage, by the way.
Okay.
Every
Okay.
single morning after
How
I
did how
do.
did I not know that about you?
Yeah. So every single morning
Okay.
when Miles is still sleeping, I get out of bed early. So I'm like, ooh, this is my time I get to grind. Before I do
Right.
anything, I literally just sage my area to clear the energy for the day and also mentally say my intentions like, what is today going to bring?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
when you come up here to good old Rhode Island, you're going to see I have sage right by my kitchen sink.
Okay. No, I just asked because I've heard so many different ways on how people, I think the
So what
ways
do
down
do you
here.
think that the windows are open to like let the energy out? Is that what your thought process is?
Yes, but
Mhm.
I want to say this. I know that there's different ways. I'm not saying that one's right or wrong or anything like that. But I think they're influenced by culture.
Yeah.
And down here, we have a very big native, which is very spiritual, beings there and in their beliefs and in their culture. But we also have Santeria, which is, like your Mexican, I shouldn't say Mexican, Latin um, way of spiritual beings and
Mhm.
floating. And so for me, I've always been told you open your front door, you open your back door. Girl, I've been told so many different things. Like you have a
Yeah.
you have a coco, you put that on the floor and you sweep that all over your floor. But we've only used the Santo Palo
Yeah.
sage for your house, and then you use white sage for yourself. and then like a
Ooh.
feather and like, so that's why I was like, I wonder what your saging looks
Yeah, no,
like.
I guess I've never been almost like I haven't been picky about my sage at all. I just
Yeah.
order it. Also being an ambassador for the manuscripting journal, I get sage from them, right? So
Okay.
I don't
Yeah.
even know what, honestly, I have never even thought about like what kind it is. Um, I just more took my own approach.
Oh
So with
yeah.
that, yeah. So like asking yourself like how, and if sage is not for you, if you're listening to this and you're like, girl, what, start just setting intentions.
Right.
Literally just take the time to set intentions. Like, what does peace in my house look like?
Hmm.
Because like get down to the facts of what would make me feel like I'm at peace when I'm home.
Oh my
Lay it
goodness,
out
I love
there.
that. And there's so many different things to get that to you. And we only have, a couple minutes together. And so I feel like there's so many things that can set intention on your energy that when you come through. And I will leave it at that, but you kind of have to find that right environment for you
Yes.
to be able
Oh,
to do that,
we
right?
could do a whole
I
episode
know
on
we need to do like
environment.
a part two because
Yeah.
I'm thinking, like if you're not really into the sage, that's okay. What's your favorite blanket? Put that on your couch.
Right.
If you're
Oh
like, oh,
yeah.
things are too like bland in here, girl, get you a plant from Hobby Lobby. They're
Yes.
50% this week. I was just there to get cheer stuff and get you a fake plant, a real plant, get you something on your table, have flowers delivered to you in your favorite
Yeah.
space. Like, we can always find different things. Now, for me, I think the saging does work best for me, I will say.
Mhm.
Just like you said, like I start every day with it. So I would just say if that isn't for someone, or the smell isn't the best for you. I think there's other ways that you can go about doing that. And maybe we can do a part two. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah, yeah, let's definitely do a part two because one thing I have noticed since I've moved, I've been talking a lot about creating a vibe, right? What do I
Oh,
want this house?
yeah.
Yeah. So a
Vibe.
vibe. So like, and I've been getting so much feedback because like Miles' room is a camping theme, right? We're from Vermont, so we're all about those mountains, right? Where my room is more of that beach themes, like, so really creating a vibe that makes you feel at peace, because at least for me, when I look around and I like what I see, that's going to bring a whole different energy than when I
Oh,
look around
yes.
and like, that's not it, that's not what I want to bring.
Yes. I think I'm coming to that point because we have changed places so many times in the last
Yeah.
year. So it's like what can fit.
Right.
Because I
Right.
loved all my old stuff, right? I loved how I had it decorated. I love how I had it. It was so peaceful. I enjoyed it. If you didn't know, everything was black, right? Black or white. That was it. But I enjoyed it. But now it's like those things were so big, so
Mm.
clunky, and I had the space to do it. So it's like now what do I bring in to bring that from my old place to the new place? There's so much. Okay, we're gonna have to do a part
Oh
two.
yeah, we definitely got to,
We're gonna
because
have to.
one last thing before we get
Yeah,
to
go
your
ahead.
homework
Okay, yes, ma'am.
is when it comes to creating like redefining your story, your life, right? Stepping into a new energy, stuff from previous places that are no longer serving you, get
Girl,
it gone. Get it
gone,
gone.
gone, gone.
Yes. So, Christine, tell us what their homework is for this week.
Yes, ma'am. So your homework is this is what you're going to be asking someone in your relationship for you at home, okay? And this is the question you're going to ask. What's a reasonable request that you've made of me and I have yet to fulfill it? And the reason why I chose this question is because sometimes when we put our partner's request on the calendar, right? We talked about the calendar and we make effort to prioritize it. You can bring peace to that other person. If you sat here and said, can you please take out the trash? Can you please take out the trash? Can you please take out the trash? And you say, what's a reasonable request that you've asked for me that I haven't yet done? And they're like, you haven't taken out the trash in like a month. And they're like, oh, right. And you had no idea that this person might have asked you to do this. And if you have a question, you know what the first homework was? What does that look like? tell me more about that. Right. And if they say, well, actually, I can't take out the trash when it's time to do blank, and then you can get that understanding. And it doesn't feel necessarily like you are being attacked or they're being attacked. And then it makes it easy for them to fulfill. If you say, hey, what is something reasonable that you've asked that I have not been able to fulfill for you? It gives them the chance to speak. And sometimes your partner, your roommate, your kid, your boss just needs a platform to speak.
Yeah.
And they don't realize how, you come from Reiki, I come from a massage background. Your body holds a story, right?
Isn't that the truth?
So them being angry over the trash, the bed not being made, a sock on the floor that like one is too stubborn to pick up and the other one doesn't even notice it. So one thinks that like you're leaving it there on purpose to prove a point. And the other one's like, I didn't even know the sock was there, right? And it's like, it starts this big commotion where there's no peace. And now you're fighting over a sock on the floor that one of you didn't even notice. Exactly. So it's like, this could be a really big question that can open the door for you to be able to bring peace within your relationship, within your home. And the second thing is, I'm going to put it in the links, get you a wall calendar. I suggest no more than a month. If you do the quarterlies, they always get lost in translation. Don't do it a month at a time. You got this, girl. I believe in you. So ask what you can do to, fulfill those reasonable requests and get you a wall calendar. And then maybe another episode, we're going to come back for part 2 of environment and peace. But maybe I'll do like a bonus episode on like stockpiling and organizing.
Yes. You should do a whole workshop on that.
Okay.
Like so many people would love that, including myself.
Well, we kind of did it with the balance. When we did the balance masterclass, it had a lot of those fundamentals of like how to get organized and being intentional with time, which I covet. So let us know. Send us a message on alignher.co on Instagram. Put it in the comments here on your YouTube, because we're on YouTube. You can see us now. And that's your homework. That's all I got.
Yeah, so you can check us out on YouTube. We'll put that link down in the show notes for those of you that are on the podcast platform. And also write to us and send us your very own question. We are open to answer pretty much anything. This is an open floor. So definitely send us a message with your questions and maybe yours will get on the podcast.
Yes. Also, if you need anything, right? I don't think we've said that yet.
I know. I think we forgot that piece.
Yeah. Like if you want to work with us, I would love to work with you. If you can make it to episode 4 with us, then I think you're our people and you should probably come work with us.
Yes. Get ready. We will bring you all the energy, that structure in your life that you are looking for, and that relationship communication, which honestly, I think that those are 2 huge components of life, right? You want to start showing up as your best self. Getting that relationship communication along with the energy you are bringing to this world can totally be a transformation.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay, we will see you guys next week.
Bye.